They claimed power of attorney for me, and then tried to claim my life insurance too. Not while I was gone, not after I died, but while I was lying in a hospital bed, still breathing, still able to hear my own brother tell a nurse, "She's not up to making decisions right now." Everything here is anonymized, but real enough that my chest still tightens when I tell it. I'm 38, single. I work in IT. In my family, I'm the one who reads the fine print and sets up the passwords no one remembers later. My younger brother, call him Nate, is the opposite. Loud, charming, always working on a deal. He burns through money like kindling, and somehow there's always another big thing hitting next week. I love him. I also wouldn't trust him to water a cactus without a written schedule and a reminder app. When the car accident happened last year, Nate was one of the first faces I saw leaning over me, phone in hand, telling the nurse he'd handle the paperwork. I was foggy, in pain, and honestly grateful someone was stepping in. The first week, I didn't notice anything wrong. Morphine makes the world soft. I signed things without reading because I thought they were routine. Treatment consents, insurance authorizations, the little "I acknowledge" screens they hand you on a tablet. One of those papers, 3 days after I was admitted, was a power of attorney Nate brought in for convenience. It gave him broad authority: banking, property, insurance, any and all financial matters. A mobile notary stamped it right there in the hallway, asked me to state my name, and watched my shaky hand crawl across the page. Nate said, "It's temporary, just so I can keep the lights on." Temporary is a dangerous word. 4 days in, a small crack appeared. My benefits rep called to confirm a beneficiary change request on my employer life insurance. I told her I hadn't changed anything. She hesitated, then said, "The request came from your power of attorney." My heart pounded so hard the monitor started chirping. I asked her to freeze the change and flag my file. She said she'd escalate and loop HR. I called HR from the bed with the TV muted and the room smelling like lemon sanitizer. They confirmed it. Nate had sent a packet to replace my current beneficiary, a friend who's also my emergency contact, with himself. He included the newly signed POA as proof. The change hadn't posted yet because they were verifying signatures. I asked them to put the request on hold and require me, in person, to confirm anything touching beneficiaries. The rep typed fast and said, "Done." Then I called my friend. She showed up within an hour with a folder, and that face she keeps for when fire needs to be walked through. "We're fixing this," she said, setting the folder on the rolling tray like it was a toolkit. Step 1. Get the paper. I requested a copy of everything I'd signed since admission. The unit clerk looked nervous but printed the stack. There it was, the POA form, my shaky signature, Nate's neat one, the notary stamp, and a time I can't even remember being awake. My friend took photos of every page. "We need a trail," she said. "Paper wins fights like this." Step 2. The bank. I called the number on the back of my card and asked if any activity had been done under a power of attorney. The rep said yes. "Your cosigner withdrew $2,000 for bills." I am no one's cosigner. I asked for copies of the withdrawal slips, teller IDs, timestamps, and the ID used at the counter. The rep emailed scans an hour later. The signature on the slip was my name, but not my handwriting. The Y in my last name doesn't curl like that. I stared until my eyes watered, then printed the email and slid it into the folder. That was when anger beat out fear. Nate arrived that evening with a smoothie he didn't pay for and a smile that tried to land on my face and stick. "How's my girl?" he asked. I said, "Why are you touching my life insurance?" His smile slid, then reset. "Safety. If something happened." "Something did happen," I said. "And you used my name to move things around me." His eyes started darting tiny calculations in the space between lies and what he thought he could sell me. "I'm revoking the POA," I said. "Effective now." He shrugged. "You can't just revoke it. It's legal. Watch me." The next morning, still in a hospital gown and socks with rubber dots, I sat in the lobby with my friend and called an attorney who handles financial exploitation cases. She didn't waste time. "You're competent?" she asked. "Oriented?" I said yes. She told me exactly what to do: draft and sign a revocation, notarize it, deliver it to every institution that saw the original, and send Nate a copy by certified mail. Make a list of everywhere POA could reach: banks, HR, retirement, mortgage, insurance, utilities, medical records, she said. Anywhere he could wave that paper and get doors to open. We wrote the revocation on a template she emailed, and a notary the hospital actually uses came up to the lobby. She checked my ID twice, asked me to read the first two paragraphs out loud, and then watched me sign. We faxed the revocation to my bank, HR, benefits, mortgage servicer, and the hospital's billing office. We walked a copy down to medical records so the chart would show it. My friend drove a copy to the county recorder so it would sit in the public record. I texted a PDF to myself and renamed the file POA Revoked Final because drama helps me remember. Within 48 hours, Nate's authority evaporated. The bank blocked access, tagged the account with a bright instruction line, and opened a fraud claim for the $2,000. HR confirmed the life insurance beneficiary change request was dead, my original beneficiary stayed in place, and any future change would require my in-person signature. The hospital added a banner to my chart: no third-party financial authority without patient present and competent. Nate called when the bank shut the door. "You're making a mistake," he said. "You can't handle all this right now." "I'd rather handle it myself," I said, "than have you handle it for you." Then came cleanup. While physical therapy taught my muscles how to trust my legs again, I taught my accounts how to stop trusting strangers. I combed through every bill, every email, every text from the last month. 2 credit card applications I didn't make, a change of address request on my health insurance mail to Nate's apartment, an attempted login on my retirement account blocked by security questions he didn't know. I froze my credit with all 3 bureaus. I set USPS informed delivery so I could see scanned images of incoming mail before it hit the box. I added 2-factor to everything that would let me, starting with email because email is the key to all the other keys. Mid-roll, quick invite. If stories like this help you spot the pattern faster, hit subscribe. I post one daily PG-13, names changed, just the process and the protections. I wish I could say the stress stopped there. It didn't. The first time my phone buzzed with a fraud alert after I got home, I nearly dropped a mug. Attempted login denied. The system was working, but my body was still learning how not to brace. A week later, Nate tried one last trick. He faxed the POA already revoked to my mortgage company and asked for payoff info and early sale options. The clerk called me directly because of the note on my file. "We have a rule to contact you before honoring any POA," she said. "Do you want us to keep a copy of the revocation on file?" "Yes," I said, front and center. I also asked them to add a verbal password no one in my family would guess. I picked the name of a stuffed rabbit I had in 3rd grade. The confrontation I'd been avoiding happened at our mom's house. I didn't bring the folder. I brought my calm voice. "You don't get to use my name," I said. Nate tried the wounded routine. "I was trying to protect you." "From what?" I asked. "From having my own money? From having the wrong person on my life insurance?" He didn't answer. He stared at the floor, then at the door, then left like the air was too tight to breathe. The truth hit a month later when a neighbor mentioned seeing Nate with a notary and our uncle. This wasn't about me. It was a pattern. Paper had become his crowbar. I reported what I had to Adult Protective Services. They opened a case. They won't tell me outcomes, but the calls to me stopped, and the family stopped treating paperwork like a toy. Fallout in a family is messy. Some people said I should have kept it in the family. Others thanked me for saying what they were too embarrassed to admit. A cousin asked, in a text without punctuation, how to revoke the POA she'd given her son just for emergencies. I sent her the same template I used and a list of places to file it. "Do it when you're calm," I wrote. "Make copies. Announce it, don't hide it." By winter, my accounts were clean, my insurance was correct, and the POA situation was locked down. I kept a limited POA anyway, but not with Nate. I split it between 2 trusted friends, and nothing big can move unless both sign. If I ever end up in a hospital bed again, the paperwork is already in place and none of it is temporary. Here's what I learned while I was learning how to walk without flinching. Power of attorney is powerful because it's broad and fast. That's good when you trust the person. It's devastating when you don't. You can revoke a POA anytime you're competent, but you have to do it in writing, notarized, and delivered to the places that would rely on it. The same tools used to protect you can be used to exploit you. The difference is the person holding the pen and whether anyone bothers to check the ink. I also learned how much of this runs on habit and assumptions. Hospitals assume family means safety. HR assumes documents are honest. Banks assume a notary means the signer had capacity. People assume the person saying, "I'll handle it," is handling it for you, not for themselves. None of those assumptions are evil. They're just levers someone can pull if you're too sick, too medicated, or too trusting to notice. So you have to replace trust with process. Process is just trust you can print. The next months were the opposite of dramatic. Boring became the point. I kept a red folder by my front door revocation on top, list of my accounts and contact numbers, ID copies, the letter from HR freezing beneficiary changes, the bank's fraud case number. If an office ever questioned me, I could show the first page and save 15 minutes of explanations. I added a sheet that said, in big letters, "Do not ACCE any power of attorney without calling me on speakerphone." My friends laughed when they saw that. Then they saved the number. I stopped letting mail sit on the table. Every envelope gets opened the day it lands. If something smells like urgency, it sits in the freezer figuratively for 48 hours. That became a rule for everything. If it's big, we don't decide today. Morphine makes time slippery. So does guilt. We don't decide today is how you get the ground back under your feet. Little fixes made big calm. Two-factor on email because email is the master key. Voiced passwords on bank accounts so a cousin can't sweet-talk a rep into a temporary change just until she's out. Trusted contact on file at every place that offers it. So if something looks weird, someone calls me too. I gave HR a one-page while hospitalized note for my file. Contact these two people. No beneficiary changes, no address changes, no paycheck redirects. It reads like overkill until you've had to undo the opposite. What about the $2,000 Nate withdrew? The bank reversed it after their fraud review. They also sent a letter that used the phrase training opportunity, which I choose to translate as, the teller learned a hat is not ID, and a notary stamp is not proof of capacity. The hospital put my revocation on the first page of my chart. HR added manual hold required to any beneficiary change requests. My mortgage servicer added the rabbit's name as my verbal password and laughed when I tested it. Haven't heard that one, the rep said. Good. Nate and I don't talk. He sent a screenshot of a motivational quote, something about forgiveness being freedom, and I turned the phone face down and went for a walk. I don't hate him. I just don't lend him my name anymore. That's what this is, at the end of the day, who you let use your name when you're not watching. If you're hearing this and thinking your family would never, I hope you're right. I also hope you never have to find out the hard way. If you do, if you wake up and realize someone helped themselves to your decisions while calling it protection here, are the things that kept me standing. Make a list of every place that might accept a POA for you. Banks, brokerages, HR, benefits, mortgage, insurance, utilities, medical records. Then keep a copy of the revocation on file with each, and put a note on your account that says no third-party authority without you present and clear-headed. Put a verbal password on anything that can hold one, and pick a word no one can guess from Instagram. Use limited POAs when you can specific task, specific time frame, and a ceiling for dollar amounts rather than any and all. If you need broad authority, split it between two people and require both signatures for anything large. It slows emergencies down a little. It slows abuse down a lot. Put boring things on autopilot, transaction alerts, credit freezes, USPS, informed delivery, and a simple rule that you won't sign anything important while ill, medicated, or pressured. 48 hours won't ruin a good decision. It will ruin a bad one. And tell someone. Shame thrives in silence. When I said out loud what happened, that my brother tried to make himself my beneficiary while I was still breathing, it stopped feeling like a fog and started feeling like a map. A map you can follow out. If this sounded familiar, I'm sorry. If it didn't, I hope it never does. Either way, thanks for listening. I'll be here tomorrow with another real story. Names changed, same honesty. Tap subscribe if you want more of the practical parts, because for all the drama, the win usually looks like a form you filed, a password you set, a copy you brought to the counter. Protect yourself. General info only. Not legal advice. Policies and laws vary. Grant POA only to someone you fully trust. Prefer limited, task-specific, time-boxed authority. For major moves, require 2 signers. Keep a revocation template on hand. If you ever need to cancel a POA, sign and notarize it, then deliver it to every institution that might rely on the old one. Ask each to annotate your file. No third-party authority without you present and competent. Lock down the basics: two-factor on email and banks, voice passwords, credit freezes, and USPS-informed delivery. Open mail promptly and set account alerts so changes ping your phone in real time. Add a hospital note to HR and insurers. No beneficiary or address changes while hospitalized. Contact your trusted contacts first, NSDS. Make a red folder kit, photo ID copies, account list, fraud case numbers, the revocation, and your verbal password so you can prove yourself in under a minute when the room is loud and the window is short. Stay safe.